Welcome to Euro. As far as our opening hand goes, we are definitely going to keep on this one. We've got Frantic Search, Growth Spiral, Arcane. Sorry, took a second to get our commanders popped up, and I didn't want our opponent to scoop the game because I know sometimes when you start a commander game and they just kind of sit there for 10 seconds, so you're like, oh, are they away from computer? Did they not know what's going on? But either way, yes, welcome. Welcome to some Euro. Hope you're excited. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. If that is wrong, I do apologize. That's how it's going to be for the rest of the video. So deal with it. We got it. We're going to survive. Let's go for Forest. Yeah, we'll go Forest and then anything else past the turn over to our opponent. So we're playing Euro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Whenever Euro enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Then whenever Euro enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life. Draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Then for a double green, double blue, exile 5 cards, and you're going to be able to escape it out of the graveyard, break those chains, and rinse and repeat. Go from there. Playing against Meren. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. Then at the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is equal to or less than the number of experience counters you have, return to the battlefield or return it to your hand. So there we go. Covered both commanders. Let's go and lead off with the Island. And we could hold up Arcane Denial if we needed to, but I just really like the thought of just going Growth Spiral and dumping Ancient Tomb onto the battlefield. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. Or we could hold on to Ancient Tomb. Yeah, let's just put Yavimaya Coast on the battlefield, and then anything else pass the turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you've ever watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and wanted to be one of those people that hold those balloons, we're looking for people to hold Euro and hold those chains. So head over to MTGOTraders if that's something that kind of sounds like you want to float your boat. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. Use coupon code JOLT, or technically go to inkgaming.com/JOLT to apply that coupon code. And if you haven't treated yourself, make sure that you do. They've got a lot of cool stuff over there that you can treat yourself with. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits to help support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. Or let's say you want to get your hands on some of these sweet tokens. I'll try to do a token drop each month, and if you're a patron of my Patreon, you will be automatically entered into the token drop. So there we go. Anything else? No, it's officially free time. Let's have some fun. So our opponent's got a pretty nice turn. We got a Vampiric Tutor coming down off of Lotus Cobra and an Exotic Orchard, and we'll see what's in store for us with that Vampiric Tutor. But thankfully, we're being able to get ahead on mana, which is a very nice feeling. So it's going to be Elvish Mystic. I was about to say, I wish we could grab Toxic Deluge. That'd be good, but we're not playing a black deck, so just kind of, yep, that's not going to work like that. Let's have Euro come down. Yeah, I actually kind of like this. So we go Euro. We're going to have Euro enter the battlefield. And I think what we're going to do, since we have so much mana, we're just going to send Euro back to the command zone instead of having it go to the graveyard. So let's put that trigger on the stack first. We're going to be able to put an extra land onto the battlefield. There we go. Let's put Ancient Tomb down. And then we have to sacrifice it when it escapes. Yep, that's fine. We'll send it back to the command zone. And I don't think we've made the land drop for the turn, technically, yet. I think we just cast Euro. Yeah, so we still have the land drop to make for the turn, too. So it's going to go back to the command zone. We can basically just kind of rinse and repeat with this. Or at this point, we're able to get ahead on mana. And this is pretty much what this deck wants to do. So let's get there we go. Command zone pop back up. Let's have Island come down. And with Frantic Search, yeah, let's go Frantic Search, because it'll be 1, 2, 3. We can untap 3 lands, and we can actually end up going for Explosive Vegetation. Look at this turn. Look at that sequencing. I'm super happy. Oh, and then we hit a Mana Crypt, too, which is just lovely. So let's, I guess, we'll get rid of Arcane Denial. And we'll get rid of Forest, because I actually do like Snapcasters. Untap Yavimaya Coast. Let's untap Ancient Tomb, and we'll untap Island. Let's go Explosive Vegetation. I'm sure our opponent's like, this is some fair magic. Let's go Explosive Vegetation. And yeah, this is what magic's all about. We've got double green. We do not have, well, yeah, we do have double green. Let's just split this one down the middle. I've got Forest, and actually, we'll just go Forest, because we've got Scalding Tarn, because we definitely have a little bit more green in here. And then we don't necessarily need to go for Mana Crypt. We will go and pass the turn to our opponent. So, very nice little turn 3. You got a casual mana on our side of the battlefield. But yeah, as far as the actual Euro deck, this is pretty much what it is. It's just Sound the Simic Alarms ramp deck. That's all that we're really trying to do. And one of the ways we are trying to win is with Unbound Flourishing, because we do have probably, I think, 6 or 7 X spells in here that allow us to do various things throughout the game, whether it's search certain lands out of our library, maybe it's making us draw a bunch of cards, maybe it's making our opponent draw lethal cards, maybe it's making our opponent mill, whatever that is, we have some sort of way. There we go, increasing confusion. Thank you for showing up. So, and I'll kind of explain how we're setting it up as a potential way to kind of close the game out. So, Scalding Tarn enters the battlefield, and now we're getting to the point to where we can actually end up going for that escape cost and still keep up Arcane Denial. So I think we still end up going Mana Crypt. And the thing with increasing confusion, that might be a little too good for our opponent. Let's have Euro enter the battlefield. That's going to be 1/2, and then we'll tap down, because we can still escape it out of the graveyard, which is going to be nice. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be 1 colorless mana. Let's have Euro enter the battlefield. We're going to be able to gain some life, draw a card. And then let's put the sacrifice ability on the stack first. Let's go and have Euro go to the graveyard instead of the command zone. If you're new to Magic, you definitely need to do that, because if you don't, it'll go back to the command zone. Oh, there we go. Hit a tropical island. Or have it go back to the graveyard. And let's go ahead and crack Scalding Tarn. That's one of the good things about Euro allowing you to gain some life, is that you can be pretty aggressive with something like Ancient Tomb. And let's have Breeding Pool. I think we'll just go ahead and shock this one in. I don't know exactly how much mana we need at this point, but we're doing pretty good. So let's go and escape out of the graveyard. That's going to be blue, blue, then green, green. And we'll exile Growth Spiral, Forest, Explosive Vegetation, Scalding Tarn, and we'll get rid of Forest. There we go. I think that was it. Yeah, we clicked on Forest. And then we want to hold on to Arcane Denial. There we go. Okay, now it's going to bring Euro back onto the battlefield. And at this point, we can finally start getting some swing-ins. We've got a 6/6 body on the battlefield. And since it escaped, we're in a good position. And that's going to be some very nice value going on throughout the game. So we have no land to go for, but we did hit a Life from the Loam, which is really good. So we're going to click OK, hit green, and that's going to allow us to basically just start kind of dredging from here. And we do have Snapcaster, which is a very good option for us. So let's have Life from the Loam. Look at this, turn 4. This it's a pretty good feeling. And major props to our opponent for sticking this out so far. I know sometimes on Magic Online, when an opponent gets to a very advanced value board state, sometimes it's a little hard. You're like, okay, what are we doing here? But yes, very much. Thank you to our opponent's got Spore Frog. Okay. So the tone has been set for the game. I'm excited. But yeah, outside of winning with something like Increasing Confusion, we can generate a ton of mana. We've got a lot of land drops. We've got a lot of mana rocks in here. One of the ways that we can win is by using Unbound Flourishing. That's going to double X spells. And at the same time, we're running some mana producers. Mana Reflection, Nyx Bloom Ancient, Zendikar Resurgent. That's something that allows us to get a lot of mana on the battlefield. Imagine if we just had Nyx Bloom Ancient right now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got potentially like 27 mana, a little bit more because of Ancient Tomb, different things like that. But, you know, long story short, we're going to be able to go for something like a huge chunk of mana. And we technically don't really have any ways to combo off with Euro and just kind of make infinite mana. I just wanted to see if we can make an Unbound Flourishing deck that just wins purely through just land drops. And that's kind of what we're looking at. So, all right, so we're going to see old Spore Frog come back onto the battlefield. And thankfully, we don't have to win through combat step, because that Spore Frog would be a very difficult thing for us to deal with. So, at this point right now, I think what we're probably going to end up doing is going Life from the Loam. Let's go and choose Tails on this bad boy. Lost the flip. We were 0 for 1 on those Mana Crypt triggers. And yeah, let's Life from the Loam on this one. Okay, that was... always get worried we're going to rip into something, but we didn't hit a land, which is kind of a bummer. But that's okay. Let's go and swing in with the Euro at this point. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we're okay with that, because we're going to get a card draw, life gain, and we're going to make some pretty good little trades on this one. The main thing is they might end up Spore Frogging. If they do, cool, that's okay. The main thing is we want to get a trigger going, and if they want to do any sort of value blocks, then that's what we have to watch out for. So at least it's not a damage trigger, and it's a little bit more of just a value play, which I'll definitely be okay with. So let's cash in a card draw. We'll definitely put that force onto the battlefield. Swinging in for 6, not going to do anything because old Spore Frog over there. We could increasing confusion in our graveyard if we wanted to. And I think, yeah, let's do this. Since we're going for increasing confusion, I kind of like setting this up. So let's go Snapcaster Mage on Frantic Search because I just want to get something. We've got so much mana. We need to get some sort of movement. If we just hold on to Snapcaster for the rest of the game, it's not that, doesn't really sound that much fun to me. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and go for Frantic Search. Oh, bummer. I meant to tap down Ancient Tomb, but that's okay. We could have used that a little bit better. We need to discard 2 cards, and if Increasing Confusion is coming out of the graveyard, we might as well just go and dump it out there. That way it can be twice since it's being flashbacked out of the graveyard, which is actually pretty good. And what we'll end up doing is putting Dark Depths into the graveyard, and let's untap this and this. There we go. And we're going to go Life from the Loam on Dark Depths, because I'm pretty sure we can still end up making that land drop for the turn. So let's go and grab that Dark Depths. There we go. Have that come into play. We can actually just, I mean, we can get to the point where we can just start chipping away at these ice counters. We do have delay, which is a very nice thing to have, because with this delay, it's not necessarily going to be a hard counter, but it gives us a good answer for something troublesome from our opponent. So opponent does have the nice Theros full altar lands. I'm not going to be putting those, not altar, but full art lands, I should say. I'm not putting them in my decks because I don't know, I just like old school basics on Magic Online, but they are very pretty, and it is unique for a Magic land card. I don't know. I mean, it fits on theme with the set. It's just kind of weird, to me. I guess it's just what we grew up with, or at least I grew up with. It's just to me, Magic land cards are always like scenic places that you would see on Earth. So it is cool to kind of see something like this. It's just a little weird to me. It looks like a little Pokemon-ish sometimes, but hey. If it floats your boat and you like those full art lands, go for it. So, opponent's going to go for Grizzly Salvage. So let's let them. I think that was the reveal zone, and thankfully, yeah, that was the reveal zone. And so I think we'll see what they put in there. So they put Merciless Executioner, so I am glad that we were able to get Snapcaster down. That's going to allow us to at least sacrifice Snapcaster instead of Euro, but thankfully we can basically just send Euro back into the graveyard at any point. So they've got double sacrifice effects. That's going to be Playcrafter. Yeah, so I think what we'll end up doing is we'll still end up sacrificing Snapcaster Mage. Let's get these closed out. Tooth and Nail, Culling the Weak. So we know that's in their hand. We do need to sacrifice a creature. Let's still go and sacrifice Snapcaster Mage because like I mentioned, even though we're looking at Spore Frog coming down a bunch, we're still going to be able to just start swinging in with Euro and getting those card draw, which is going to be pretty nice. So, and I will not auto-yield and forget about Dark Depths. So... I've been known to do that sometimes. All right, we got old Lotus Cobra swinging into the red zone. And Meren, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. It's going to put us down to 21. Let's go for the Dark Depths activation. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we took 3 counters off, and, like I said, if we don't run into anything off the draw step, if we don't run into anything off Euro when he swings in and cashes in a card draw, at the very least, we've got Dark Depths to start chipping away at our opponent's life total. So they're going to have the... Playcrafter trigger go on the stack, so that's going to force Euro to go into the graveyard. So at this point, we're okay with that because what we're looking at, we're not trying to flash any of this stuff back. So let's make sure that Euro goes into the graveyard. There we go. Still going to the graveyard. Yeah, we could have hardcast it if we want to. That's going to be 7 mana. But we've got a stocked graveyard, so we'll go and sacrifice Euro. The only downside is we do need to watch out for Playcrafter because it's going to be pretty hard for us to... assemble any sort of value. At this point, we just want some sort of draw X spell. That's going to be a very good option for us. So I'm just going to choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. Lost the flip. We were, I think, 0 for 2 on those bad boys. And I think since we are looking for a draw spell, let's not go for Life in the Loam. Doubling Cube. Okay, well, that's going to double the amount of mana we've got in our mana. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good option. Okay, so let's go Doubling Cube. Because we might be able to set up an Increasing Confusion, which would be pretty cool. Double green, double blue. Exile 5 cards. Let's go to exile Snapcaster. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, yeah, I guess we could go Life from the Loam. That's going to allow us to make a few extra land drops. Because we definitely need to hold on to Increasing Confusion. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do that. So Okay, so we're going to go for Euro. That's going to allow us to enter the battlefield, cash in a card draw. And since it did escape, we're going to be in a pretty good position. There we go. Not going to be able to put that down. Let's go for 3 visits because that will be an additional land that we can get onto the battlefield. And then while we're passing it over to our opponent's turn, I'll kind of see what we've got going on with increasing confusion. So anything else? I think we're just going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we at least have an option to block on them swinging in, but we're going to see Plaguecrafter more than likely come down during their turn. That's going to force us to sacrifice Euro. But I'm going to let them do their thing, and I'm going to kind of do some mana math really quick. And I think on this one, we're going to go delay because we want to get an extra trigger with Euro. So we're going to go Forest. There we go. We're going to delay that Executioner. I think they can still bring in Plaguecrafter, but at least we're going to fog out kind of like a combat step at this point. That's kind of what we want to end up going for. Okay, so let's see. And if I did my math correctly, we're looking at a increasing confusion for 42 between doubling cube and increasing confusion out of the graveyard. So we'll see what we can assemble, but let's still end up going Dark Depths. That's going to allow us to go for a few extra triggers, but we're going to see that Plaguecrafter come down, which is a little bit of a bummer. And I think at this point, we're going to shift Euro over to the command zone instead of the graveyard, but let's go for Dark Depths. It's going to remove an ice counter from Dark Depths, and then we're going to send Euro back to the command zone, because that way if we don't draw into something nice, at the very least, what we can do is at least kind of cast it out of the graveyard, cast it out of our command zone, and that's going to allow us to kind of get a creature down. So, but yeah, with Dark Depths, even going for those activated abilities, that's going to be one of those that even if we do get it down, since Plaguecrafter is going to come very cheaply every single turn, that's probably not what we're looking for. So. But let's see what we draw into. So we got Mana Crypt Trigger. Let's go and choose Tails on this one. I think we're 0 for 3 on those, which is very much a bummer. And then Guy's Cradle. So let's have Euro come down. Just go for that card draw. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's have Euro enter the battlefield, and it will end up being sacrificed, but we'll still get that trigger going. We're going to gain some life, and then Gilded Lotus. Okay, that actually does help our mana out. So we're going to click Done. And it's going to enter the battlefield unless it escapes. It's going to get sacrificed. So we'll make the land drop for the turn. We'll have Guy's Cradle come down. And we end up going for Gilded Lotus. That's going to be 1, 2. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll redo the double and cube math. And then anything else. Let's just go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, that'll be good. So we can still end up going Gilded Lotus for Dark Depths. But I think we're still going to be able to survive next turn because we're looking at the very least that's going to be like 7 coming across. So we've got about 2 turns to assemble some more stuff. We do have Blue Sun. You saw Blue Sun Zenith in here. We have Pull from Tomorrow. We've got a lot of different options that allow us to draw some cards. So hopefully between us kind of digging into our library, we will find some sort of thing. But right now we're on the Increasing Confusion game plan, which is a pretty good option. So let's let our opponent get their turn. I'm just going to redo that math real quick, especially with Gilded Lotus. All right, so now we're up to 56 on Increasing Confusion. We've got 14 available mana. We're using Gilded Lotus and Doubling Cube as a way to kind of go for that. Even if we don't hit, if we're running on Increasing Confusion, we still have other options that allow us to tap out for something like Hydroid Crisis. So we still have outs in the deck. We just need to get lucky and hit a draw spell or some sort of value spell. So, because even if they do get another creature down, thankfully with the creatures that they're going for, that's 1, 3, 6, 7. So we're at least going to have another turn in Spore Frog. That's going to be 8. So we do need to be careful with Ancient Tomb and this Mana Crypt. Please don't be a bad Mana Crypt. Won the flip, finally. I think that's the first one we won, and we run into Tri-Builder, which does get us a lane on the battlefield. And so I guess at this point, let's go Tri-Builder. We'll have Tri-Builder come down, and then we're going to go for Euro. That way we can cash in an extra card draw, because that does help us out. That gives us an extra land. So recast Euro. We're going to have Euro enter the battlefield. That's going to be the trigger. We're going to get some life gain and cash in an extra card draw, which really does matter in this particular... Oh, Tameo. I'm not going to be able to put that down. And then we have to sacrifice it. Yeah, we don't have a graveyard to bring it. I guess technically we need to exile... Yeah, let's do this. So let's have it go... So we've got, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 for Tameo. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have the necessary... We can go double green right now. and then double blue for the escape cost, and that still gives us Tameo. Yes, that is perfect. So, and then we can still end up cracking Tri-Builder. So let's do this. So let's go and crack Tri-Builder. Let's have that island enter the battlefield. That's going to be an extra land. Let's go and have Euro go to the graveyard instead of the command zone. There we go. And now we're going to go Tameo. That's going to be blue and then green and then 2. So let's go Tameo. That's going to be 2 colorless. Okay, we're going to have Tameo come down, and at this point, I think what we'll probably end up doing is just naming Chromatic Lantern, or even something like, let's name Unbound Flourishing. Maybe we get lucky and hit it. Argument could be made for a card draw or something like Hydroid Crisis, but we're going to be okay with that. So we do not run into it. So let's go Allura. We're going to be able to escape it out of the graveyard. Let's go ahead and exile 3 visits. We're going to exile Delay, Tri-Builder, Brainstorm, and then Castle Vantress. So click OK. So it's going to go back into the onto the battlefield. And with this Tameo, this is really going to allow us to get some good stuff moving. So let's have that sacrifice trigger, and let's go for Euro to gain a little bit of extra life. And either way, you know, this is fun. This is kind of the first time I'm playing this deck. This is like literally the first time I'm playing this deck. So if I miss something, all right, they're actually going to end up going for Putrefy. I think we need to send Euro to the command zone, because we can always just hard cast it if we don't hit something. And then with Tameo, because if we put it in the graveyard and they take care of Tameo, which I doubt they're going to do that, but then we're kind of stuck with Euro building up a board state. Yeah, I like it going back to the command zone. So they do have Putrefy on Euro. We're going to get the Euro trigger on the stack. We'll still go and put Forest down. And then anything else? No, I think that's going to be it. So we've had a lot of stuff moving. I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent and try to figure out how much mana we've got going on our side. Okay, so we are at 64 total mana available for us to go for Increasing Confusion and... Yeah, because that's going to be double with increases. Sorry, for a second I got ahead of myself. But yeah, we're at 64, and our opponent is at 78. So if we can get lucky, hit a few more mana rocks or something like that, and somehow still survive, we might be able to go for Increasing Confusion. I know this game may seem kind of clunky for a Euro deck, but I'll be honest, we just haven't got lucky and hit some of our draw spells. If we hit some draw spells, we're going to be able to open this thing wide open, but we haven't been able to do that. And it does look like they're swinging in full force at us, which we will take that. That's going to put us down to 5. And then let's see what Tameo, how we can do this. Because next turn, I don't know if we can survive. They're going to be able to bring back Plaguecrafter. That's going to force them to get rid of some stuff. Okay, we're going to see what we can end up doing next turn. Hopefully, if we just top deck Hydroid Crisis. Oh, man, that would be good. We might end up Tameoing for Hydroid Crisis just to get some sort of advantage. So, all right, so we're going to have the Mana Crypt trigger. Let's go and choose Tails on this one. And it does matter in this one if we hit the flip or not. Won the flip. Okay, so that still keeps us open on Ancient Tomb. And then we run into Harbor. Let's go Tameo. Yeah, let's go Tameo. And what we're going to end up doing is just simply, I think, just naming Hydroid Crisis. That's our best bet. Let's see if we hit Hydroid Crisis. Oh, it's not in our hand. Okay. Let's have Harbor come down. We're dead on the back end. We can go for Euro. We're going to be able to cast that. We can, because there's going to be a Plaguecrafter coming off suspension. Let me see. Yeah, Plaguecrafter or Merciless Execution is going to come off suspension, so that's going to sacrifice that. So we actually technically can't go for Euro. We can gain a little bit extra life. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can escape it. I think we just might end up doing that, because I don't think we have the necessary mana, because that puts it up from 17... That puts us at 68 mana. Yeah, I guess if we're going to try to win this one, it's going to be enter the battlefield. That's going to be 3. That puts us up to 8. And that puts us up to 11. And that's going to be 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we just have to get lucky. I think we will end up going for Euro out of the command zone. So let's do that. So let's go Euro. Okay, so we're gonna have Euro enter the battlefield. Sorry, I was trying to set up a doubling cube, but it was kind of looking kind of weird for a second. So we're gonna have the Euro trigger. Tatyova is nice. We will take that. So we have no land to put down. And let's go ahead and have Euro go back to the graveyard and stay to the command zone. And let's go for Euro. Actually, we'll actually end up going Tatyova first. I think that's going to be the better bet. That's going to be 1-2. And then tap down for 1 green. Okay, so unfortunately with Tatyova, we're going for the escape, and somehow I applied... Oh, that's a bummer. Somehow I clicked on the wrong... I clicked on the wrong mana. There's no way we can back out of this now. So I think technically it's going to be a good game to our opponent. Sorry about it. This game was definitely a fun game. We were trying to go for increasing confusion, and I think with the total mana that we had, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's going to be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And that's going to be 17 times 2 with doubling cube. That's going to be 34 times 2. So we were at 68 as far as milling our opponent out with increasing confusion. The line of play that we're going for that last turn was I was trying to set it up to where we had Euro and Tatyova on the battlefield. We could tap down Guy's Cradle, but either I kind of miscalculated something in my head or something happened to where we couldn't do both in the same turn. So unfortunately, it looks like, well, let's see. Because we're at 7, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can still block on Tatyova. I guess we still have an out. We do have mana crypt we do have to watch out for, so we will see. But yeah, long story short, that's what I was trying to go for. I was trying to go for Euro. Entering the battlefield, we would have gained 3 life. And then if we hit a land off Tatyova, that would have allowed us to end up going for an extra life gain and an extra card draw. So we'll see what's going to end up happening. Your opponent does have 3 mana. If they have some sort of way to deal with Tatyova, they will definitely be able to close the game out. And with Birthing Pod, I would assume that they more than likely have more than enough to kind of close the game. Because, well, we are looking at potentially... Let's see what they're tapping down for. They could be going for Gray Merchant. Because they sacrifice Lotus Cobra. Let's see what this is going to be. Okay, so they end up going for Fleshbag Marauder. 3, 4, 5. They can exile... Oh, and excuse me. Tamiyo wins again. I forgot that with Tamiyo, we can't sacrifice creatures. Oh my god, this happened in another video and I forgot. Okay, so we do have a little bit of an answer. And so with Tamiyo... Okay, so we do live to see another day. We've got Tamiyo. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we run into a land drop. I was like, why are we not sacrificing creatures? Okay, I feel a lot better about this. Let's see if we can't set up that in increasing confusion. We probably still might end up going +1 with Tamiyo to go for Hydroid Crisis. So either way, we're still looking pretty good, but a land drop would be perfect. So let's go and choose tails on this one. 1 the flip. Oh, yeah. Oh, Hydroid Crisis right off the top, just like we drew it up. Okay, so we don't want to lose the game, but we want to draw a bunch of cards. How do we do this? Let's see. So at this point, I think we're rifting our way out of this one. So let's go Tamiyo Cyclonic Rift. Oh, yes, that was... Oh, that feels good. Welcome. All right, we're going to name Cyclonic Rift. and then we hit a Cyclonic Rift off Tamiyo. Oh, the magic gods. They're treating us oh so well. Let's do Hydroid Crisis. We're going to go for this, and we're just going to gain a bunch of life. Okay, so we're going to go down to 5. We're also going to gain 9 back, which is going to be good for us. That's going to be Hydroid Crisis. Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, so we don't hit any fast mana rocks, but we do get a land drop. That's going to be a Tatyova life gain. Oh, yeah. Let's do this. So we've got Tatyova. That's going to cash in an extra card draw. And we hit Unbound Flourishing, too. Oh, my goodness. Let's go for Unbound Flourishing. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There we go. hit Unbound Flourishing, and then nothing else that we need to go for. So let's just go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So there we go. Finally got to see this thing bust wide open. Oh my goodness. Tamiyo is such a good play. I was playing against Necasaur the other day. We have to discard some cards. We'll get rid of, we want to make that land drop. We'll get rid of Temple of Mystery. Actually, we'll hold on to that. We'll get rid of Hedron Archive, and we'll get rid of Rampant Growth. There we go. All right, so with Tamiyo, such a good card to run a commander. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. So I played against Necasaur the other day, and basically we just kept Tamiyo on the battlefield. You can see we're playing against Meren. They're trying to go for all these different activations. So once we go for Increasing Confusion, if I'm correct, whenever you cast a permanent spell... Oh, excuse me. No, yeah, there we go. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with an or activated ability, if it has X, double copy that spell or ability, you may choose new targets for the copy. So this should allow us to close the game out with Increasing Confusion next turn. At the very least, that's going to allow us to go for that, because what we can do is Increasing Confusion for a bunch, doubling Season, and then just kind of clean up from there. So, all right, opponent's going to sacrifice a Lotus Cobra again. Let's see what they're going to grab. And whatever, even if they Eternal Witness, we're looking at like Tooth and Nail or Culling the Weak, Diabolic Intent, Vampiric Tutor. I mean, we'll see what they're going to grab, but I think either way, yeah, they're going to go Diabolic Intent. They have to sacrifice a creature. That's going to force them to... Now, if we're going for Increasing Confusion, we're going to try to mill them out. We're definitely going to go for that. I think we have to, because even if they have Eldrazi, they wouldn't run Eldrazi and Meren. You don't want that to happen. And I don't know what you could cast for 2 mana to close the game out. Okay, so they're going to go for Diabolic Intent. They're going to search your library for land, for any card that they need. And then, yeah, I think we're going to be able to get it with this this Increasing Confusion out of the graveyard. Oh, that felt good. God, that felt good to hit that Hydroid Crisis right off the top, and then hit Cyclonic Rift off Tamiyo. She's treating us very well. And as the game wears on, we've mowed through enough to where we can actually start... You know, it's still, we're looking at the top 4 cards of our library, so we've got like a 10% chance of hitting what we need to hit with Tamiyo. So, hey, that's better than Heart of the Card percentages. So, if there's something specific that we're looking for, it's a pretty good feeling. But, oh, man, hitting that Hydroid Crisis right off the top, that is sound the Simic Alarms right there. All right, opponent's going to go for exiling that out of the graveyard. So they might have gone for... Oh... And if they do that with Deathrat Shaman, I think that keeps us open. Because they might have gone for Toxic. And if they go for Toxic, I mean, I think that's kind of the only way. Maelstrom Pulse on Hydroid. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go for it. We'll take it. We can always just return it back with Tamiyo. The other win condition that we do have is Jace. We do have... where is Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. And so that allows us to kind of go for the Laboratory Maniac style win. So, but we're going to try to Increasing Confusion our opponent out of this game. So let's end up doing that. They're going to go for Eternal Witness and then bring back Pulse. So the good thing is they're out of mana. There's nothing else that they can do other than just go for Spore Frog. And so we should be able to have some fun. So let's choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. Oh yeah, won the flip. Things are just looking just absolutely wonderful. Prismatic Vista. Yeah, let's do that because that's going to allow us to get a little bit of extra life gain. Let's go Prismatic Vista. We're going to be able to cash in an extra card draw. Jace, let's go on a little late to the party, Jace. Let's go and crack Prismatic Vista. Let's grab Island, which is our last land. Which is nice. We're going to be able to gain an extra life off of Tatnyova. And then we run into Disallow. Okay, so let's go for Doubling Cube really quick. Okay, for some reason, I guess Doubling Cube isn't working. Because if we go for the 3-mana activation, double the amount of mana of each type of unspent mana you have. That's unspent mana. It doesn't increase it, so it must be broken right now, which is kind of a bummer. And so if we end up going Increasing Confusion, let me make sure we've got enough for this Increasing Confusion win before we go for it. And actually, if that's the case, because we're supposed to have it, yeah, something must be wrong with Doubling Cube, because with Doubling Cube, 3-mana activation, double the amount of mana, the amount of each type of unspent mana you have. We click on that, and it's not working. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working like that. Okay. All right, so we're gonna have to back out of this. It's a little bit of a bummer. We're gonna have to figure out a different way to kind of close this one out. Let's go for Tameo. We can go for the -1 for Hydroid Crisis. I think that might be a pretty good option. Yeah, let's do that. So let's return Hydroid Crisis back to our hand. I'm going to bring Hydroid Crisis back, and what we're going to end up doing is actually going for Cyclonic Rift. So I might be overthinking this doubling cube. If I'm not, then I don't know why it's doing it like that. Okay, so we're going to go for Hydroid Crisis. That's going to be, we're going to gain some, oh no. Okay, we've got 29 cards in the library. Okay, yeah, it's just gonna be X equals 28. I got worried for a second that we goofed up. That's gonna be Hydroid Crisis. Let's go for where is Cyclonic Rift? We're gonna send everything back to our opponent's hand before they have any opportunity to go for any activation. That's gonna be 1, 2. Okay, so we're gonna rift everything back to our opponent's hand. We're gonna go and swing in with Tatyova. And then with Nyx Bloom Ancient, we should be able to kind of amplify that mana. Yeah, with Doubling Cube, I don't know why. I don't know if I'm clicking on it wrong, but we should be able to go for Increasing Confusion and amplify that with the amount of mana that we have, but for some reason it's not working. So we're going to go for Cyclonic Rift. We're going to send everything back to our opponent's hand. There we go. Let's go and push in with Tatyova. Look at her. She's been sitting there very patiently. We're going to go and swing in for 3. And anything else? I think we've already made the land drop for the turn. We still have Mystical Tutor to go for, but I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot to... and once we run into Blue Sun Zenith, yeah, that's how we can set it up. We can go for a Blue Sun Zenith win. All right, so we send everything back to our opponent's hand. Swing in for 3. And then knock them down to 24. And just in case they've got some funny business, Lebowski, let's just go and pass the turn, and then we'll worry about going for Mystical Tutor once they get stuff settled in. So we do have 15 cards. We have to have 7. We'll get rid of Wooded Foothills. We'll get rid of Sanctum of Eternity. Let's get rid of Spring Bloom. And we can basically just kind of... just go on from here. Get rid of that. We'll get rid of Temple of Mystery. We're going to hold on to Negate. Get rid of Lana War Elf, Sylvan Carry. Okay, there we go. Anything else, pass it over to our opponent. So, sorry if we didn't really stick the landing that well in this game. Like I mentioned with this doubling cube, I mean, unless I'm overthinking it, 3 mana activation, tap, double the amount of each type of unspent mana that you have. So when we add all that mana to our mana pool, it taps down on the colorless and it doesn't increase that mana. So could potentially be a bug or something like that, but at least we do have another win condition. We can go for Jace, and then we're going to Mystical Tutor for Blue Sun Zenith. Blue Sun Zenith's in the graveyard. So we can always... -3 with Tameo to bring Blue Sun Zenith back to our hand. So that'll be another way that we can get this set up. We'll still probably end up Mystical Tutoring just to kind of see, if we want to set something up. But also, huge shout out to our opponent for letting this game actually happen. We almost lost. Opponent's going to go for Toxic Deluge to close the game out. I like that flavor loss. Huge shout out to our opponent, yeah. So basically what's going to happen is we've got Mystical Tutor. Even though Blue Sun Zenith is in the graveyard, we've got the -3 on Tameo. We're going to be able to have Jace come down and then allow us to cash out a bunch of card draw with Tameo and really just kind of control the game. You know, we had counter spells from there. We had Disallow in the hand. If Doubling Season works the way it's supposed to work, we have that Increasing Confusion line of play that we can go for. But since it wasn't working, since it appears to not be working, I could be wrong, we were able to kind of still end up assembling a win through just sounding the Simic alarm. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video. That Hydroid Crisis, ooh, my goodness, that felt really good. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.